Problem number 36, according to the information in Table 1 and Figure 1, what can be concluded about sulfamoxifloxacin, all right, or however you pronounce that. And it's an antibiotic for common skin infections. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to glance at Table 1 and see what it says about skin infections. All right, then I'm going to go over to Figure 1, and I'm going to have to look up in the key in the upper right hand corner and decide what's going on with those lines. The third thing we're going to do before we actually go over and look at the material is we're going to subgenus map the answer choices. So the subgenus map basically says we're going to look at our answer choices and we're going to go ahead and circle either the first noun, all right, or we're going to look for some verb. Okay, in answer choice F, we've got the sulfamethoxylenol, and it says it's ineffective. All right, so circle that. And then it says increasing the dosage decreases. All right, increase and decrease. Okay, see how these are intensities. And then here H says the mechanism of action is unknown. Circle that. And then here J says compounds of the antibiotic increases against common skin infections. All right, so we subgenus map the answer choices so we know what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and take a look at Figure 1 and the key. So once we glance at the answer choices and circled some key nouns and verbs, and we call this subgenus mapping, now we simply go into the key right here and we look for the sulfamethoxylenol or whatever it's called. All right, so it looks like we have this one here. So it's this dotted line, it's the dark one. And then it looks like we have this other one here, the dashed line, all right, right here, okay? So those are two of them. So let's go in and find those. Here's the dotted line right here. Let's trace over that. And then here's the dashed line that matches up with right here. So you can see that the y-axis says elimination percent. So it looks as you increase the treatment interval, it does look like the elimination is increasing. So that's a direct relationship. So the more you use, the longer the time, the more effective you are at eliminating that. All right. Now remember, from genus mapping, if you look at answer choice F, F says ineffective. If it was ineffective, then the graph would look something like this. Okay, so that is going to knock out answer choice F. Let's jump back over there and take a look and cross out some of those choices. All right, as we mentioned before, F can be crossed out because ineffective. It shows that that's not correct at all. All right, answer choice G, what we did here, it says we're going to increase the dosage and it decreases. Well, once again, that goes with that chart again. If we increased and then it decreased the effectiveness, that actually would go like this in our chart, be a down staircase, so that's out as well. As the antibiotic mechanism of the action of it, it's unknown. Well, we know it works because as you increase, it decreases the elimination or increases the elimination. So answer choice J is going to be the correct answer on that one. I think that this is fairly straightforward. For me, this helped me when I subgenus mapped the question answer choices first before I looked at it. And then the second thing is I went ahead and just looked at that key, found the dotted lines, and I just traced over them and saw that they were going in a relationship kind of like this, an up staircase. So that's a direct relationship. J for 36. Problem number 37, according to Figure 1, if an investigator administered a sulfamethoxylenol 600 at 20% of the original bacteria would remain after the treatment interval. This is a tricky problem. Make sure that you go ahead and read the XY axis correctly. So we want to have 20% of the original. All right. So now let's go over and take a look at Figure 1. All right, so here we are in Figure 1, and now remember what the question said. It says 20% of the original bacteria remaining. So we go over here, we see treatment interval in the X, and here it says bacteria elimination percentages. So let's convert those words. Those words from the question are 20% of the original remaining. So if we have 100% and we've eliminated how much to get 20% remaining, 100 minus 80 gives you 20%. So you got to come up here and you got to find 80%. With the alien finger, you're going to simply draw this across. All right. Then in the question, what we underlined here is 600 milligrams of the sulfanoxanol. So we come over here and we find here's the sulfanoxanol, it's 400, and then here's 800. So that's the dotted line again, and then the dashed line. So here's our dashed line here, which is 800. Okay, just put 8 there. And then the dotted line, which is the dark dotted line, is here. So roughly 600 would be this line right here. Okay, so we see that this line right here goes all the way off the charts here. All right, does that make sense? Here's our 80%, and at 120 minutes, this is already eliminated. Let's look at your answers. So remember from figure 1, when we found that 600 line, we just kind of estimated in between 400 and 800. And we saw that that was at 120 minutes, that was roughly around 65%. So you know that if we were going to get up to 80%, it would be greater than 120. All right, A is the correct answer on that one. Probably what happened on this one is this wording here was kind of goofy on that. 37A. Problem number 39 is the statement antibiotic compounds with sulfamethanoxanol more effective against common skin infections than when it is administered alone. All right, compounds versus alone. This is a yikes problem. All right, so we're going to need to go in the text and we're going to have to find a compound or mixture, Scooby-Doo style, versus the alone antibiotic. All right, let's go ahead. Best place to look is in the mini upper left-hand corner. All right, so here we are in the mini upper left-hand introductory box here, and I'm looking for compounds. I come over here and it says, here it is, compounds right here. So it looks like it gives us an SMX. All right, so that's this. And now we have to see if it works better alone or as a mixture. Okay, and we are looking for the sulfonoxa one. So that's this one versus this one, right? So the dotted line and the dashes, here's the dotted line, and then here's the dashes. So the dashes look like that works better. And then here is the SMX try, and that is the dash line here, and you see that that also works better than just the alone dotted one. You see that? So here's our dotted line over here. Both of these, boom and boom, are higher, so it does work more effectively. Now let's go back to the answer choice and subgenius map. Yes, yes, no, no. We already know it's yes. What we need to do now is just look at the two, cross out the no's, and then look at the two remaining answer choices. It's usually going to come down to one word, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right, so once we cross out the no's, then we're going to go ahead and look at the yeses and see what the difference is. Here it says because the sulfamethanoxanol 800 is more effective than the SMX. Let's go back up to the question. There's a lot of words in here, it's confusing. Is the statement compounds with sulfamethanoxanol more effective? The answer is yes, right? But here it's saying that the non-compound, the non-mixture, is stronger than the SMX. And remember from the yikes problem that SMX is something that's going to be the compound. So that's actually backwards. Here, SMX, that's the compound, is more effective than the regular doxycycline. Let's go back into the chart. We already know the answer choice is D, But let's just spot check our answer choices. So we're going to go in here and we're going to find an answer choice D, Doxy SMX versus Doxy. So if you look over here, here's your regular Doxy. We'll just trace over it, straight line, down over here. And then our SMX Doxy is over here. It's the dashed line over here. And you can see that that's true. The SMX Doxy is above, so that's going to prove answer choice D is problem 39. You're starting to see as we go through this, like they do a lot of mental gymnastics, say something and then they reword it kind of funny, and you have to kind of sit back and put it into your own words. You're starting to see that what I taught you in the very beginning with the Scooby-Doo concept, saying the same thing but using different words. In this particular case, you see that sometimes just trying to reword the answer choices or the questions and put it in your own words prior to looking for it will help you out with that. Hey, thanks so much for doing the extra work outside of class, and I will talk to you soon. We're getting kids ready for April 17th, by the way. And that will start right around, probably a month before the test, so right around the 15th to the 18th of March, we'll get started with the ACT prep for the spring.